Hello and welcome to another video by TapRun.com. As usual, we'll be looking at a company's website and trying to understand its pricing model, take a look at some of the issues that they may be facing, and then make a few suggestions about how it could be improved. Of course, we have no secret or confidential information about the site, so these will be just guesses, but of course, this makes things all the more interesting. So we'll be looking at LessAccounting today. And it tells us right off, very beginning, what the product being sold is. Accounting software for business owners who dislike bookkeeping. Okay, so we have a basic idea of the target market, business owners. Of course, that's a very large market, but it narrows it down somewhat. And we know what the product is. It's accounting software. And it's people who dislike bookkeeping. So I'm assuming that the targeted business owners are probably going to be small business owners, perhaps 1, 2, 3 person operations, definitely operations that are not employing full-time accountants. So I've actually watched the 5-minute video. I won't play it here, but the theme I got was that they were stressing ease of use, simplicity, ease of use, over and over again. And as we can see here, there are a few more clues about what is being offered and who it is being targeted toward. I'm not exactly sure about this concept of robust. Very few people think about a robust software, but I think that the idea they're trying to get across is that this software can be used for many purposes. Just because it's simple doesn't mean that it doesn't have the functionality that's required. I think it could be cleaned up a little bit to actually point that out. Leaving QuickBooks, aha! So now we have a very interesting funnel for the potential acquisition of customers. Are you leaving QuickBooks? See why we're better. This is a great technique for monetization. Find people who are unhappy, who know they have a problem, and people using QuickBooks know they have accounting problems, and then just convert them later. I think, as we'll see later on, there was a missed opportunity here. There's no explanation about how easy it is to get from QuickBooks to LessAccounting. Is there an automatic system to import the data? What is the friction like? The lower the friction, the lower the barrier for people to switch, the more easily they'll be able to sell to more people. And then we have here something which confirms my earlier suspicions. Don't know what bookkeeping is? Take a look at this 15-minute instructional video about what bookkeeping is. I think this might be a mistake here. If someone doesn't know what bookkeeping is, it probably is not the ideal customer. I think better yet, they would be better off by saying something like, do you know what bookkeeping can do for you? Or more importantly, see how LessAccounting can achieve these strategic goals. And these goals might be something as simple as free up more time to focus on your business, or spend less money on Advil as you get headaches when trying to figure out how to do your bookkeeping, or avoid penalties or avoid spending money on accountants for routine issues. What we really need here is a value proposition that speaks to the end users. And here's an attempt, a very valiant one. Easily keep up with your books. Well, I suppose it's good to keep up with your books, but again, this doesn't speak to the end goal of the user. What is the goal? Is the goal to avoid stress at the end of the tax season? Is the goal to understand what the finances are? Or is the goal to somehow save money on expenses? Keeping up with your books is a way to achieve one of those goals. It's not a goal in and of itself. Only the features you need. This again is focusing on the simplicity of the product, and I think simplicity is a great thing, but people are not generally afraid of having too many features. I use Google quite a bit, and there are a number of functions here, such as Photos or Google Plus, that I don't use. And you know what? It doesn't bother me one bit, just because there are features and they're there. What they need to stress here is ease of use. You will be able to do things quickly, easily, low ramp-up time. Just come out and say it. Don't hint at it. And of course, we have a testimonial. Testimonials are always great, and a couple of examples of companies that can be integrated with this system. Looks very interesting. Let's say that I was convinced and I want to start a free 14-day trial. This is a great way to get customers in the pipeline. They'll get to be using your systems. They'll put their data in, and suddenly they'll realize, A, this is pretty good. But B, it's going to be a pain to get my data out again, so maybe I'll stick with it. And we have 3 pricing plans. This is a little bit awkward. What I would actually do, and I'm not usually one who recommends hiding things, I would hide the pricing right here because I did not click on a button that said, let me buy something or let me spend money. I got, let me get a 14-day free trial. So why even show the pricing at this point? Why even make someone distracted with this information? Just have this one form here, get them using it, and then you can explain the pricing later on. Oh, we've seen you've used the system for 14 days. Let us now take your credit card. Let us now explain our pricing. So enough about that. Let's say that someone is ready to buy and they're ready to spend money. I would say that these plans seem rather cheap. I did a little bit of some calculations recently, and as you can see here, there are a few things to note. One, these plans are very, very cheap. $20 a month for someone spending $10,000 every month. That works out to about 0.002% of his income. Meanwhile, someone spending $25,000 would wind up spending 0.00216. And the higher he goes in terms of his spending, the smaller the percentage this actually is. And when we're dealing with such small numbers, we have to start thinking, do they really care about these prices? Does someone who makes $10,000 a month really feel the difference between $20 and $54? I'm not so sure that the difference is that extreme, that a freelancer or certainly a small business spending $36 would really feel any savings when compared to $54, or really feel like you're spending that much more than $20. In a sense, these prices could theoretically be collapsed or more appropriately raised. And I like the idea of having the freelancer plan be relatively cheap. I would even entertain ideas that perhaps the freelancer plan should be dropped down, perhaps to $5 a month or $10 a month, and then also, in conjunction, reduce this number for the freelancer plan. The idea is tripwire pricing. You get people using the product early. You get people spending a few dollars when they're only making a few dollars. And then as their needs grow, they will be willing to grow with them. They will be able to spend more money. As the freelancer becomes the small business and becomes the superpowered person and is used to this system and has all his data in the system, he'll be much more willing to spend money than someone who just comes out fresh. One of the things that I would certainly pay attention to is not just the prices, but also the fact that these products don't have any upsells. Yes, you get to spend more money per month as a business owner with higher plans, but that's it. And generally, what I see are upsells with products. Is there something that doesn't cost you a lot to offer, but would add more value to these plans, especially to these plans with more spending? So for instance, a freelancer plan may only require one sign-in, one account for all the data being stored for a given freelancer. But a small business, maybe they need 2 or 3 people to be able to sign in, or maybe they need one person to sign in to record things, and they need to be able to post data publicly to an internal intranet. Or maybe the superpowered plan, maybe there are a couple people that are recording transactions. By allowing the larger plans to have more sign-ins, you are suddenly adding more value, and you are A, pushing people toward more expensive plans as they become larger businesses, and B, offering more value. A few other ideas, you could add guarantees. Now, I watched some of the videos, and they pride themselves on customer service, which is fantastic. What you could do is offer customer service to all. You're a freelancer, you get our great customer service. If you're a small business owner, you get our great customer service, and we guarantee to get back to you within, for example, 2 hours. Or superpowered, same great service, but we guarantee within 1 hour. Now, for all we know, normal times might be 30 minutes to get back to you. But by adding these guarantees in, you are reducing risk. And that is always something that people are willing to pay for. One other suggestion, perhaps, would be integrating consulting services into this. So perhaps when you buy the superpowered plan, you may get a retainer of 1 to 2 hours of work every month. Now, obviously, this won't work and this won't fly with a $54 maximum, but if we added perhaps an enterprise plan, that would be fantastic. It's always great to allow people to pay more money, and what I see here is very dangerous. Superpowered for $54 a month, you can apparently record as much spending as you want. So I'm not going to say that this will happen, but perhaps if Microsoft signed up for $54 a month, the systems would be overwhelmed. There probably is a good rationale for capping this, spending more than $25,000 and perhaps less than $100,000. You want to spend more? Contact us for a custom plan. The more I think about it, the more I think the pricing could be rejiggered, not only in terms of the dollars here, but in terms of how these are broken up. Now, these plans are based upon spending, and I suppose this makes more sense, but really, when you think about accounting, what do you hate the most? Is it recording large numbers, or is it recording a lot of transactions? The more complex the business, the more sales that have to be tracked, the more transactions there are, the more of a need to have a formal accounting system. And I think rather than tracking just the number of dollars being spent, it'd be better to base up these tiers upon the actual number of transactions. If I'm a freelancer and I freelance with one company a month, I may make $12,000, but it's just one transaction. It's almost like I wouldn't even want to track it through LessAccounting. I would rather just track it through Excel. But if I'm a small business and I have $12,000 a month of sales, and they're all at the $2 to $5 to $10 level with different companies and different items being bought, then of course I'm going to need something a lot more formal than Excel. And this is what I would find value for. And I'd be willing to spend significantly more than the freelancer who's only selling one item to one customer every month. Everyone loves ease of use. Everyone loves ease. But I really think ease is something that differentiates your product. This is easier than another accounting product. But people don't necessarily go for ease. They go for accomplishing business objectives. So if I were the people behind LessAccounting, I would focus my writing on the fact that this will achieve the type of business objective that their target market, the small company, small entrepreneurial company, has, which are A, B, and C. I would clean up the pricing tiers, certainly raising the highest tier and capping it, and perhaps lowering the freelancing tier pricing, and start trying to think about how they can differentiate these plans in a more appropriate way than just mere dollar amounts. I think that from everything I've read, this company is doing very well, and they will probably continue to do well, but I think they can do even better with just a few more tweaks. So best of luck, guys, and I look forward to seeing you and what you do in the future.